This time I had lot many variations for electrolytes. So the crew used to actually keep switching amongst all those things, and it was on their charter that what they are going to feed me. As in rider, I was not actually involved in what I'm eating. My only job was to ride, and the crew was 100% responsible for what I'm eating, what is going inside me. So they used to actually assess it, what is actually suiting me, and keeping my morale high. If you have not planned for something, that means you have actually let your race down. If anything is left to speculations or we will figure it out, that means you have actually lost the ground. So everything needs to be planned, whether it is sleep break, whether it's nutrition, whether it is strategy, whether it's your vehicles, whether it's your hotel breaks. You cannot leave anything to speculations, or we'll see to it. If you will see to it, that means you have actually lost it.
I am Venki, a working professional in IT as well as an amateur masters athlete and a coach for endurance sports. You are listening to the Working Athlete podcast. Here, I talk to working athletes from all walks of life and experts from various sports to provide you with inspiration, training tips, and lifestyle advice. If this is something that interests you, I have a small request from you. Please subscribe to the channel on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts from. You can also let me know what you like and what you would like to listen to more of by commenting in the comment section on YouTube. I promise to do my best to improve with each episode and bring you the best content that helps you and me get better each day. In this episode, I talked to Bharat Pannu. Bharat is an army officer and an ultra cyclist who successfully finished Race Across America RAAM 2024. Bharat attempted to get to the start line in 2019 and had to give up on his RAAM dreams because of a freak crash resulting in a broken collarbone just 20 days before the start of RAAM. In 2022, he started RAAM and had to give up on the 10th day due to health issues. After 5 years and countless other successful races, he successfully finished RAAM this year. In this episode, he shares insights into his own preparation as well as the preparation of the crew. He shared what his pacing and fueling strategies were that helped him cross the finish line successfully. It was a conversation filled with valuable insights for anyone looking to get into ultra cycling or just want to understand what makes one a successful ultra athlete. I hope you enjoy this conversation as much as I did. This episode is brought to you by The Bike Affair. If you are in search of a one stop destination that caters to all your cycling needs, our today's sponsor, The Bike Affair, is the perfect place to check out. I have known the founders of The Bike Affair, Krish and Gokul, personally for nearly 15 years now. In fact, my first century ride was with Krish back in 2008. They are both exceptional human beings and entrepreneurs that believe in providing exceptional service to their customers. And it shows. With over 14 years of experience, the Bike Affair has established itself as a trusted source offering honest advice and exceptional service. They are offering a special treat for the listeners of this podcast. You can enjoy a 10% discount on your first order by using the code BikeyVenki on their website. So if you are in Hyderabad, visit their store in Kondapur, or if you are anywhere else in India, shop online by using the link thebikeaffair.com. I will leave the link in the show notes. Now, enjoy the podcast. Hi, Bharat. Welcome to the Working Athlete podcast. It's a pleasure. Welcome back, I should say. It's a pleasure having you on the show again.
Thank you so much, Panky. It's a pleasure to be here.
And massive congratulations on successful completion of RAM. No mean feat by any means.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
All right. So I know that this was not your first attempt. You almost made it to the start line in 2019, almost because
as I remember, we talked about in our earlier episode that you met with a accident and broke your collarbone in 20 days before the start in the US. So, and that meant that you couldn't take to the start line, of course, of such a big race. And unfortunately, you had to come back without even starting, right? So that was back in 2019, and now we are in 2024. It took 5 years. Why did it take, like, obviously that is always on your radar? Why did it take 5 years to get to the start line again?
So just to add to what you have told, so it after finishing race round Austria in August 2017, the next thing on my mind was, so it is just not 5 years, I would say it was 7 years. So so after finishing race around Austria in way back in 2017 August, the next target was RAM, and my mind started working towards it. I planned to crew for a US team, that is Team C2C, and that was my first encounter with RAM. I saw that RAM is very brutal, it's not easy, and you just can't attempt it without actually very good preparation. So I was very clear with the preparations, the amount of preparations which would have gone for RAM, and we were very deliberate in our planning. And in January 2019, that is about 5 months before the start of RAM in 2019, that is it start. It was supposed to start on 11th of June 2019. Yes. So in Ultra Spice race, that is 1750-kilometer race from Goa to Ooty and back to Goa. So you must be aware that how brutal that route is, and
Yeah,
riding continuously for
very
1,000.
hilly.
Yes, the amount of elevation gain in 1750 kilometers is much more than RAM actually offers you for the same distance. So that was a very good ride, a very good preparation ride for Race Across America, and we did very good. The total time which we had taken was about 95 hours 15 minutes. So and the amount of planning which we had done for that race, so that was a benchmark we had set for ourselves, that yes, we are ready for to take on RAM in 2019. And I had gone about 1 month 20 days prior to the start of the event, just that I prepare in US itself. So while during a training ride, I met with a very silly accident. So these instances have happened earlier. So it was not something new which I would have done, but our team decided that we should not go ahead with that. And
Hmm.
in 2020, we know that due to COVID, we were not able to attempt, and I attempted virtual race across America. We did very well in that. I rode for 12 days continuous. That was one thing. Second, that I was overall third in that race globally. In my age
Correct.
category, I
Yeah.
was first. So that was the level of preparation we had for race across America. I was very in upbeat mood. The team was in upbeat mood in 2019 as well as 2020. After that, few things changed in my life. Like I in 21, I went as a OIC, the officer in charge for Army cycling team, and as a passion, I am riding bike. And if I get to work in my office while preparing the cyclist for national as well as international events, then what better could have happened? So I engrossed myself, and my own cycling took a toll, uh, which I realized when I attempted. I did a Guinness record from west to east in India in October 21. That was successful. And I attempted Race Across America in 22, where on 10th day, due to my ill health, we had withdrawn from the race. But I realized that I was not that well prepared for the race because I was mentally and physically engrossed in my own office work, that was with Army cycling team. So my preparation was not up to the mark, and we were actually not able to do justice with the race. So 22 was not that good. In 23 also, I didn't attempt the race because I was not that well prepared. I had registered for RAM, but not well prepared because I was with the team itself and my energy was actually going there. In June 23, I got posted to Rajasthan, Suratgarh, and that was the time I started investing on myself again. I started doing my cycling regularly and did Ultra Spice in January with the aim that I would beat all my targets, all my previous timings of Ultra Spice. So this was my sixth attempt at Ultra Spice, and I had very solid benchmarks to beat because I've attempted in earlier 5 attempts. I had my data and I had a checklist pasted on the top tube of my bike that I have to do this between this time station oblique this checkpoint to this checkpoint in so much of time. And actually, I had done more than 80% of my ride by cutting short all those timelines. So that was a good ride, and that was the point we decided that I'll attempt Race Across America in 24. And for another 4 months, I prepared well, and the result was is in front of us. We had a very it was a tough race, no doubt, but we finished it successfully.
Amazing, amazing. It kind of shows like it is not always a straight line, right? Life takes us in different paths, but you had other obligations in the years in between, but you kind of came back to your center again, trying to that ram is still an unfinished business, and you had to attempt it, and you chose the right time to attempt, I guess. That is great. So what was the preparation leading up to this year's ram like, and how does it compare to your previous preparation?
So my all my preparations are in front of my crew. Like we regularly interact on weekly basis, and they keep visual seeing what my training is going on day to day basis. So my crew was very much satisfied with my preparations in 2019, and they were again very much satisfied with my preparations in 24. Before even starting the race, before even heading out of India, like the team was very much confident in a upbeat mood that yes, Bharat is well prepared, and the preparations of the team also synchronizes with my preparations. So it's not just my preparation; the team also was geared up for the event, and we my timings at Ultra Spice race. So that gave the confidence to the team that yes, Bharat is actually prepared for Race Across America this year, and we would be doing very good for sure.
Right after the ultra space, you which happened in Jan, right? And you had like about 4 months of lead up time for ram, right? What were your like uh, typical mileages, like weekly mileages or monthly mileages? What were the biggest rides during this period that helped?
So my training plan, my coach is there with me, Tracy McKay from US. He's always have been a mentor for me. More so for this RAM. So with working with my coach, like I've also understood that my training plan should be simple. I should be able to, if my training plan is simple, I should be able to follow it. If I'm having a complex training plan, if I'm not able to follow it, what is the fun of having, what is the use of having the training plan? So and my coach also understands this, and he has been throughout with me in this journey. And this year's training plan I had prepared myself uh, under my coach, and it was very simple. The weekly training mileages was increasing every week. So it used to be 3:1 training plan. So for 3 weeks, my training mileages used to increase. Then fourth week used to be a lesser mileage, and that used to be actually a recovery week. Again, the cycle repeats for the
Correct.
next month. 3 weeks, my mileages increase. After that, fourth week, it reduces as a recovery week. So this continued for 4 months. In that training week, if I distribute my training rides, 80%, more than 80% used to be uh, zone 2 oblique zone 3 rides, mostly zone 2. And I used to have one hill climbing session and one interval session. On third day of the week, that is the Wednesday, I used to have my hill climbing session, and I used to do Alp Day Zwift every time for continuously 8 weeks. So that was a good uh, push to my complete cardiovascular system, like working at its threshold. And the good thing was that I was actually able to reduce my Alp Day Zwift timings every time I used to attempt it. So that gave me confidence that my training is going on the right track, and I am able to actually improve my FTP every time. So this gave a very good morale boosting to my crew as well as myself, that I'm in sync with my training plan. My body is actually responding to it. So I was able to achieve a figure of 247 watts uh, for as my FTP. That was the maximum I reached before my RAM started. And one thing more, the Alp Day Zwift timings was like, I know that I'm not uh, a very good cyclist, but I'm good at endurance. So my timing at Alp Day Zwift was 64, and at that I consider 64 minutes and 1 second or 10 seconds, I believe. That I consider it's like very good for me. There may be cyclists who are like very good than me, but I have my own niche that I'm good at endurance.
No, definitely. See, there is no point comparing ourselves with anybody else. That this the path that we are on is what is the best we can do with whatever we have, right? For that matter, even the top cyclist in our country would not be comparable with maybe amateurs in Europe, right? That is always there. There is always a relative level. But what are our strengths, what are our weaknesses, what is the best we can achieve with what we have? And like you said, your niche is your strength is the endurance, going on and on for days, which is what you excel at, right? Amazing. So in terms of mileages, right, or maybe in terms of hours that you put in, you said um, 3 weeks of load, gradual increase, and 1 week of recovery, which is a fairly common method for training among cyclists and most endurance athletes, right? What were like the mileages or hours that kind of typically involved in those ramp ups?
So my weekly mileage, the minimum which used to be like my start point for the first week after my ultra spice was about 350 kilometers per week. That was the minimum I used to achieve for any week, whether it was a recovery or that was the benchmark. And the maximum I went up to was 960 kilometers per week. And this was along with my office, which used to start at 6 in the morning for 1 hour PT, physical training with the troops. So I used to do cycling along with that, utilize that time. I used to go there, do cycling and some gym as well. Then office from 8:30 to 2, and then evening office for 1 hour from 5 to 6 oblique 7. So with this office timings, I used to actually do about 9. On average, it used to be 600 to 700. The maximum I achieved 960, and the minimum I told 350.
Right, amazing. That gives a good idea of what kind of involves in preparation, right? Excellent. So you made it. You had a very good preparation. You made it to the start. What was the feeling like at the start line for this year's event?
Uh, at the start line, like mine was blank. I was not having, like, it was clutter free. That is the right word. I
Excellent.
was I was at peace with myself. I had just one thing in mind, that I have to just ride. There are people behind me who will be supporting me day in and day out, and my nutrition plan is very sorted out. Everything was well stocked in the vehicle, so there were no worries in my mind that I have to think of something which will be actually disturbing my mind during the ride. My bikes were well prepared for the ride. I was very confident on them. I was using all my bikes in the training ride. The same were with me in RAM, no modifications. So that thing was actually keeping me at peace. And when the race started, I just started riding my bike. There was nothing, uh, and by God's grace, no external forces or disturbances were actually able to disturb me during the ride.
Excellent. So, being cluttered, the mind being clutter free is something that peace of mind, that calm is something a lot of us aspire to. In a situation, there can be nervousness, there can be a lot of negative thoughts. Will I be able to do this, that, and all that? So without having all that, being calm and clutter free is a very good sign, right? That kind of shows the confidence that you had in your training, the confidence that you had in your crew. Talking about crew, right? What was the preparation for the crew like? Is that, yeah, was the crew with you for over the years that you have worked with before, or what was it like, and what were the crew preparation like?
So I would consider myself blessed in this aspect. Since 2017, when I started racing, uh, a set of people kept were there who are there with me till date, and our team always kept on growing, and we have been always been together. That is our strongest point. So my crew knows me, what kind of rider I am, what I need at in daytime, what I need at night time, how they need to manipulate me so that they can extract the best out of me. uh, there were members who with me in 22 it's RAM as well. These team members were there with me during virtual Race Across America in 2020. They have been with me in my Guinness Records attempts. So all these things amalgamated towards the Race Across America 24 attempt. Also, every time we attempt in race, so we always take learnings from the past experiences, and definitely we try to improve upon the functioning which we have been doing from so many years, so that our next race becomes even more smoother and easier for the rider as well as the crew. So we had 16 crew meetings. So as I told that after Ultra Spice race, we decided that we'll be going for RAM. So we had clear cut 4 months ahead of us. So we had 16 crew meetings. All meetings used to happen. Every meeting used to happen on Monday evenings for about an hour plus. We had 7 Indian nationals and 2 US nationals in the team. Of the 2 US nationals, one has already crewed for me in RAM 22. So with that prior experience, we actually made our strategy even more simpler. Earlier, we had to had checklist. Okay, we has to do these 10 tasks. So this time it was even more simpler that we have to do every time Bharat stops. We have to do these 4 things which are inescapable. So these 4 things have to be done at any cost. No excuse on that. Other things are desirable. Even if they are done, Bharat is even more happier. If they are not done, Bharat will not be angry. So we had our things very much sorted out. Uh, so it made the life of crew also very simple. They were actually able to deliver much better because they had what is required and what is required to be done at one point of time. So that was very immaculate. Our crew shift changings, the change of crew used to happen exactly 12 hours, say plus minus 30 minutes, and they don't need to. They were actually coming on to the point where so with experience with we were actually able to forecast that we will be at what mark. So everything was going as per plan, and the nutrition plan, that was also immaculate. uh, the
Right.
nutrition aspects, if I go into details, was very well sorted out till day 7th or 8th. My crew actually told me that, Bharat, it doesn't seem that you have been riding for about a week, because you seem to be fresh, you doesn't seem to be sleep deprived, and your riding mileages have actually not reduced much over a period of time. So you seem to be very fit, and we are confident that we'll be able to do in very good time. So that was a big compliment to ourselves as a team.
Excellent. So, what was the nutrition plan like? And you mentioned that while during the preparation, you guys decided that these are the four things that are non-negotiable whenever you stop. What were those? And also go into the what details of the nutrition plan, like what were you consuming during the day, during the night? What were the, like, maybe you know calories per hour kind of situation? What was it like?
So coming on to calories per hour, it used to be like 200 to 250 calories. It is very much known in the environment, that is the amount of calories we need to actually take to sustain ourselves as an endurance rider. So that was one. To meet that requirement, we had a very flexible plan with us, and we had lot many variations with us for carbs, for electrolytes, for things like caffeine, which used to keep me awake at night. We had lot many variations. So these variations actually worked very good for me, because at times the biggest problem with riders, endurance riders, is that the taste doesn't suit us. So if the taste is not suiting us, we actually look for variations. I will crave for solid food, I'll crave for something like which is actually not good for me. It gives me instant energy, but actually in a long run it's not good, like Coke or Thumbs Up, so soft drinks. So this time I had lot many variations for electrolytes. So the crew used to actually keep switching amongst all those things, and it was on their charter that what they are going to feed me. So actually, I have, as in rider, I was not actually involved in what I'm eating. My only job was to ride, and the crew was 100% responsible for what I'm eating, what is going inside me. So they used to actually assess it, uh, what is actually suiting me, and keeping my morale high. So just as an example, at only one instance on day 8th, that I felt bloated, and
Hmm.
that bloating lasted for about 2 to 3 hours, and that is the only problem which I had faced due to nutrition. And later on, when we, in retrospect, we analyzed why that bloating happened actually. So we realized that at around 5 in the morning, I had a big coffee shot, which was like pure coffee and hot warm water, and the quantity of coffee was much higher, like almost double which I used to usually take. So
Right.
that actually resulted in bloating, and it took about 3 to 4 hours for the crew to actually overcome it, and we were on the roll again.
Excellent. So you mentioned that you have had different varieties of nutrition or electrolyte mix and stuff. Can, if you don't mind, can you share what are all those?
So for carbs, I've been using only one brand till date. That is from Pacific Labs. It's based in US, and the product name is Accelerate and R4. So these were
Right.
the two brands I was using for my carb loading, for my carb intake, and this has protein in proportion of 1:5, one protein and 5 carbs. So that actually meets my protein requirements also on the go when I'm taking carb. For electrolyte, I've been using Enerzal, like that I've been using from past 7 years. When, from the start of my cycling. Energal suits me a lot. So as we all know, the sugar content in Enerzal is higher. So at night times I avoid taking Enerzal. In daytime it is okay, and I use it. I used fast and up electrolyte tablets, and that too in multiple flavors. Like there was Aam Panna, there was coffee, and there were some other flavors as well. So always I used to keep guessing what I'll be getting now. So that actually was keeping me on the roll. Other than this, I used to take cold coffee. Like I used to take 3 to 4 cold coffees, minimum 3 to 4 in daytime. Uh, Maybe when it was quite hot, I must have taken 5 to 6 as well in a single day. So it is not used to be much. Like big glass of cold coffee used to be about 100 to 150 ml in one go, but that used to give me a good morale boost. I like having cold coffee, and that doesn't that's not actually detrimental to me. It gives me a good boost. Other than this, I was not having any fruits. uh, Sparingly I had bananas, like 3 or 4, maximum 2 or 3 in a daytime. I don't remember having much of bananas. Other than that, no fruits. So this was my nutrition, and almost no solid food, except when the time I used to go for sleep. Uh, Solid food, if I was taking like in an hour, I used to take just half a slice of bread with some Nutella or boiled egg or something like that. Like that was just to keep the taste alive, or
Hmm.
just change the mood, just change the taste. As a food, I was just having solid food before I used to sleep, and that used to be dalia, cornflakes in milk with sugar and whey protein.
Nice, nice, excellent. That seems to be a solid nutrition plan. So, what was your pace strategy like? You seem to have started really strong, and we were watching. We're wondering, did he start too strong? Was the question that that was there on some of our minds as well. But you were progressing quite well. I think in the initial 4 5 days. What was your pace strategy like, uh, and then your sleep strategy? Let us touch upon those two.
uh, so I'll touch the sleep strategy first. We had planned for sleep of 90 minutes oblique 180 minutes every alternate day. And for the first night, no sleep. So 90 minutes of sleep started from second day, and we had gone with that. So after the first night, sleepless night, I had a first sleep break at Prescott, which was time station 7. It was of 90 minutes. So as the crew saw that I'm actually facing no signs of sleep when I'm riding throughout the night for day 1, day 2, and with 90 minutes of sleep break, I was actually doing good. So for third day also, they gave me a 90 minutes of sleep break, which actually was working very well. And we continued with that 90 minute of sleep break, whether it was in division of 2, 45 minutes plus 45 minutes sometimes, or sometimes it was straight away 90 minutes. It was working very fine with me, and till day 7th, there were no signs of sleep deprivation, neither during day or night. So that was actually very good sign. And
When
and
when
that's
was these when was these sleep breaks
it was
typically?
usually at night.
Okay.
Like almost at every break was at night itself, and I actually fall sleepy at around 2 to 3 in the morning. So that is the time when crew was actually looking forward to give me a sleep break. But sometimes I used to take a sleep break at 9 or 10 in the evening, 10 at night, 45 minutes, and 45 minutes in the morning time. That is 3 to 4 or 4 to 5. That worked very good for me. For 7 days, it was very good. So there is a chart behind me. You can see here. So these are the
Hmm.
chart with all the mileages and sleep breaks and everything written. We had a target time of reaching at every time station. So till time station 15, that is Durango, I was 5 hours ahead of my planning, which was
Hmm.
actually like commendable for the complete team. That as a team we were able to achieve that. So I had a target of 73 hours for Durango, and I just had a sleep break in the morning when I reached Durango, and with the sleep break as well, I reached Durango in 68 hours. So that was very good. I was fresh after Durango, and we continued this same target, like achieving the targets. So till day 7, day 6, I was able to achieve all my targets, and all our target sheet was in green line. After that, I don't know, like RAM is a mental game. It's not a
Yes.
physical game at all. Uh, I
Most of the
started,
ultra most of the ultra events are, right,
yes.
more
So
more mental than physical.
there there was something which happened with us, that we actually became, it got into our mind that we are actually doing very well, and that can be detrimental or at times, and I think that was detrimental for us this time, that this tendency got into our brain that we are actually doing good, and it should not happen that we are pushing more and more, and it becomes difficult for us at a later stage. So we started
Hmm.
taking more rest, so that the body is in a good shape. So that thing actually crept into my mind. So it is like I am actually riding, and my mind is actually running the race. Crew is there to support me. So that thing went into my mind, and that actually proved detrimental. So after that, uh, it became uncontrollable, that even after, despite in spite of taking more rest, I was not able to achieve all my targets which I had set for time station to time station.
Hmm.
So this is a mental game, and actually while riding, it becomes very difficult that how the rider is actually, what feed is going into rider's mind from the environment, from the well wishers who are well outside the race in India as well. So the impression you got that Bharat is actually riding very well. So all those feeds went into my mind, and probably that resulted some changes psychologically, which actually
Hmm.
proved detrimental, due to which
Hmm.
I was not able to keep that same pace. I was feeling more sleepy. So everything boiled down to something which people were saying, or my crew members were saying, that Bharat was in a very good shape for initial 6 to 7 days, but later on the sleep deprivation and everything hit. But with my experience as a rider, even the 4 day ultra spice race tends to be difficult with sleep deprivation. And I was there for RAM till day 7. If I was riding without sleep deprivation and was in a very good shape, that also was magical, and I never thought of that. But the tendency that I am doing very good, that might have actually was not good for me. That feed should not
Right.
have gone to me, and I should have been working with that same pace, that Bharat, you are not riding well, you push.
Right, right. Yeah, I mean, it is also difficult to say whether it is like the mental side of things that kind of um, contributed to that a little bit of decrease in pace, or it's actually the physical strain and the the fatigue of the previous 7 days and the sleep deprivation of the previous 7 days. They are not uh, like alien concepts, right? They are actually reality, like they can catch up with you, right? So what I'm saying is it might not be all mental, right? It could be that a combination of these things coming
Yes,
together. And
you are very right in saying that, and we have been analyzing all these aspects with the crew members, like what actually happened, what the way we were talking to each other, all those conversations we are taking into account, and just trying to come to some conclusions which can actually help us in our future races.
right. right. Definitely, that kind of helps the analysis for the future, right? Excellent, excellent. So, what did you have going into the race? Did you have any time goals? How did you fare in respect to that?
Yes, like as I had shown the sheet, which is still inside my training room. So we had goals for time station for every time station, and it was jolted down uh, to exact time that we should reach that time station into minutes, and we had taken into account the day, the time zone changes, and my sleeps. So for every day we had catered for about 4 hours of off saddle time. So everything taken into account, the time goals were set, and it was actually written down uh, as per the US timings and the minutes that we should be there at this point of time. We should be at so and so time station. And this was actually
Excellent.
based on my own skill set, like my own experience, that I would have ridden at that such and such pace, and they also based on the feedback, not the feedback exactly, but the exact timings of other riders who had finished in the same time uh, which we expected us ourselves to do.
Right, right. Excellent. So during this entire, uh, you know, 11 days of riding, what were the most challenging days? As you just said, the first initial 7 days seem to have gone smoothly. Then, what were the most challenging moments during this entire race that kind of maybe put some doubt in you whether this can happen or this can be in danger?
So one thing which actually changed the complete course of the race was Kansas. Uh, as we were going towards Kansas, the Kim, which is the last time station of Colorado, it was very smooth. There were no crosswinds or headwinds. We expected that the similar would happen in Kansas as well, but things were not the as expected. We faced a lot of crosswinds, and the crosswinds used to start 6 in the morning, and they used to continue till 8 or 9 in the evening. They were
Wow.
actually taking a lot of toll, and it was not exactly crosswinds. Uh, it was like crosswinds plus headwinds. So I was like continuously riding in those winds, which was actually draining me out. So this was also one of the factor which resulted into the increased fatigue after day 6, which actually was not making my nights very smooth. Like I was tending to feel more sleepy due to the drain which I had in the daytime. There was an instance when I actually stopped riding at 7 in the evening, that I need to take a break, which I never do actually at the times when sun is out there in open. So I stopped. I took rest for about an hour because it was actually draining, the
Hmm.
riding in those crosswinds continuously.
Right.
I was actually feeling that I'm riding continuously uphill, and I was not able to achieve the mileage which I'm expected to. So that took a toll. The second thing which was challenging, that on day 9th, 10th, and 11th, like after my sleep break, it was very difficult for me to remember that I'm actually in a race, whether I'm in US. There are people there to support me, like they are so kind people that they're supporting me. I was not able to remember that these are the same guys who are in my support crew, and they have come to US to support me. But I was thinking that they are some good strangers who are actually feeling that Bharat needs some help, and they are actually helping me out so that I can be safe. So all these thoughts were coming into my mind. I was forgetting that I'm in a race. I should be actually riding my bike. So this thing
Hmm.
was actually very disturbing. This has happened for the first time with me.
Hmm.
On day 12, day 11th, I just had a 15-minute sleep break, because on the previous night they had already given me a 3-hour long sleep break, with the anticipation that on final day you will not be getting any sleep break. So I had requested for a sleep break. They gave me a 15-minute sleep break. My crew gave me. They were aware that it would be difficult for Bharat after that 15 minutes of break. And after those 15 minutes, I was like completely zoned out. I was not aware where I am, what I'm here for. The crew was helpless that if they don't give me a sleep break, I'm not able to ride because I'm feeling sleepy. But if they give me a sleep break, it would be even bigger challenge for them. So
Right.
that was actually funny. After my sleep break, we started riding. The crew chief was in the vehicle which was ahead, navigating for us, and the rider care vehicle was there with me. So I stopped at stopped on the road and told the rider care that can we have some tea? I'm feeling sleepy. And that was actually not, I was not sleepy. That was like my mind. I was not into the race, and I was looking for some avenues where I can just get off the bike. Like, why I'm riding? I'm so much stressed out. I'm so much exhausted, and why I'm riding. So Katha prepared tea for me, and the crew chief was like not angry with me. The crew chief was angry with Katha that why on the earth you are preparing tea for him? He needs to ride the bike. Are you even serious? So
Yeah.
like lot many funny moments as well. But
Yeah, at that late stage you are in probably in a hallucinatory state, right,
yes,
where you are not able to even recognize your own crew and recognize the fact that remember the fact that you are in a race trying to get somewhere. So that kind of zombie mode or the hallucinatory mode is like, uh, we heard of this before, even with the best of the riders, right? The Jure Robic is famously, going through those hallucinations and all that, uh, a lot. And it is a tricky situation for even the crew to how to get you out of that and get you moving, right? It's commendable, on their part also to kind of get you moving in those situations.
but this was the situation only during night times or when I
Mm,
used to get up from the sleep break. Otherwise daytimes were never a problem.
mm,
And the crew used to feel that sunlight is the energy for Bharat. So Bharat never stops when it is sun is out there. He
right,
covers up the mistakes or the wrongdoings which he has done at night time under the influence of sleep in daytime.
right.
So that was the impression, and crew used to just gain whatever mileage I can cover at night time. That is bonus, and Bharat will cover at least the basic minimum mileage which is required for the race in daytime.
Excellent, excellent. So, what were the learnings from this experience? You have had an experience of 2022 where you had to give up on 10th day, right?
Yes.
Right. And then now, going through this, going through a very good phase in the initial stage, and then struggling towards the end but successfully making it to the finish, right? What were the learnings from these experiences, that you can share?
The first and the foremost is that we have to keep everything simple. Simplicity is the key to success. Even if you want to finish the race in a very good time, which definitely every athlete aspires to, the basic key is simplicity. The complex things makes life more difficult. It is more difficult to manage. uh, it is more difficult for crew to actually keep up to the expectations of the race with complex situations or complex things to manage. So whether it be nutrition, whether it be your bikes, or whether it be your strategy, it it doesn't has to be there doesn't have to be many variables for strategy, if I say. So you just need to have, okay, this time station I need to ride at this speed and try to finish in this amount of time. So with this strategy, it this worked for us, and this used to actually give us a very positive boost for the next time station or the next part of the ride. So simplicity is one thing in every aspect of the race. Second, uh, if planning is everything. If you have not planned for something, that means you have actually let your race down. If anything is left to speculations, or we will figure it out, that means you have actually lost the ground. So everything needs to be planned, whether it is sleep break, whether it's nutrition, whether it is strategy, whether it's your vehicles, whether it's your hotel breaks. You cannot leave anything to speculations, or we'll see to it. If you will see to it, that means you have actually lost it. There will be nothing to help you out, because it is a stressful race. It is a stressful race for crew as it's for the rider. So if something is not planned at that point of time, you don't have that energy or the mindset to actually plan something or find out a solution to something which you have not planned to. You need to have backup for everything, whether as small as a thing as a Allen key, your spares, um, your shifters. So you don't need to if don't need to expect that okay, there's a time station where will we get everything. No, the bike spare shops don't keep all the spares, because in a country like US, where online thing is very much famous, and you get everything much cheaper online as compared to the bike shops. So bike shops don't actually cater for all the spares. So you need to cater for all the spares of the bikes which you are riding on. So that keeps you at peace, that I am having all the spares, even if my bike doesn't fail, but I have all the spares if there is a requirement to. So other than this, we had like backup for water as well. Like if we don't, we should not be running around or fending for water at any point of time. The tank, the fuel used to be always more than half full. So all these small things actually keep you at peace.
Definitely, definitely. When you're talking about spares for everything, right? What are on top of your mind? What are all the spares that you kind of carried for your bike equipment?
uh, Say shifters, gear cables, brake cables, uh, chains. Uh, Other than that, I had pedals. Uh, like for my kit, I had shoes, helmets. So
Tires.
every tires, uh,
Yeah,
tubes. No need to say about the tubes, because you actually carry a lot of tubes with you
yeah,
for such a race.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Did you encounter any punctures or anything like that during the race?
Uh, I believe I had 4 or 5 punches for the entire race, and
And you
some.
quickly swap the bike in that case?
Yes, we swapped the bike.
Mhm.
That was the plan. We
Right.
will change the bike.
Mm.
No wheel change. Uh, just swap the bike. It is the minimum that we can do in the minimum time.
Right. Excellent. Excellent. Amazing. I think it shows the kind of preparation that you put in terms of training, the preparation you guys have put in terms of planning with the crew. Everything is, what contributed to the success of this race, right? For you. And it is very evident, and thank you for taking the time and sharing all these insights with the listeners. uh, what are you looking for in the future? What are your next goals?
I'll be doing some races in India now,
Hmm.
because going outside the country is actually a very costly affair.
Hmm.
So I will be keeping abreast with my training plan, and doing some races in India. I'm looking forward to Dunes, which is happening in December in Rajasthan itself. So it's like a race at home for me. So that is one race I'm looking forward to, and I'll be doing at least for a year. I'll be doing some races in India. Also, I want to add one thing to my RAM experience, which actually I want that everybody should listen to. So, while doing such big races, you face a lot of challenges and you discover some things about you. So I've been, but what I'm going to tell you is something I've experienced early in my earlier races as well. But this time it was very clear. Uh, Before the race started, like I used to tell my crew that if I'm asking for a break of 2 minutes or 5 minutes, never question that, whether it be daytime or nighttime. Just allow that freedom to me that I can take that liberty to rest at any point of time, whether it be two times or three times in a day. Just allow me, don't disturb me. I'll just get off my bike, take care of my bike. Even if you don't come, I'll just put it down on the roadside. Either I'll sleep on the roadside, on the grass, or I'll come to the car, inside car, and just sleep on the bed which you have prepared for me. And please don't disturb, like I want that peace of those 5 minutes or 2 minutes. So what used to happen actually, whenever I used to do this, the crew was understanding that yes, we don't need to disturb. And what was actually required, that I expected for 2 to 3 seconds of the initial that of initial those 2 minutes of those 2 minutes, don't tell me anything. I used to just keep my put my close my eyes, and within those 2 seconds, if nobody disturbs me, I go used to go into some trance stage where I'm not connected to this earth. And I used to get up always and every time. I used to get up on my own, and I used to ask the crew members, like, how long was the sleep break, or how long I was lying down. So it used to be exactly the same time which I asked for. So whether it was day 11 or day second or any point in the race, whatever time I asked for that break, and it used to be 2 minutes or 5 minutes. That was the exact time I used to sleep, get up on my own, and start riding the bike. And that used to be actually a game changer. It used to completely revive me of the stress of the vibrations or things that are going in my mind. Everything used to settle down. I used to be at peace, and my performance used to increase after that. So that was actually something magical which I had not experienced to such an extent in my earlier races.
Amazing, right? The body clock, how amazing it is, how it works, just works. These are some of the things that are like almost, seem magical for us. How
Yes.
amazing the body and the mind are, right? Amazing, amazing. Bharat, this has been absolute blast. Congrats again for successful completion of RAM. I am sure you would, complete many more challenging events like this. This Dune race you talked about, right? How long is it? You said it is in December.
Yes, this is 1,300 kilometer long. It is from
Hmm.
Jaipur to Jaisalmer and back to Jaipur.
Nice, nice, nice. All the very best for that and other races that you are going to do. I'm looking forward to our next conversation. Thank you for taking the time.
Thank you so much, Vanky, for getting me on board on this talk, and I appreciate you are doing a great job by bringing the lessons or the experience of fellow cyclists to across to for listening to across everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you. My pleasure.
That was my conversation with Bharat. I hope you enjoyed that. If you are enjoying these podcasts and are finding them useful, please consider supporting the podcast by subscribing to it on YouTube as well as on your favorite podcasting app. It really helps. Thanks again for your continuous support. See you next week with another guest.